Hello, welcome to another creature tutorial. This tutorial is going to cover the new skin swap feature for Creature Pro. Alright, so it's a very exciting new feature that allows you to essentially swap in-game items, costumes, hairstyles, whatever you want in the creature animation tool. And so I'm going to set up a character for you and show you how it's done. This is the first part of the tutorial in the editor, showing you how to set up skin swapping in the editor, and then there will be subsequent tutorials showing you how to activate skin swap in game engines like UE4 and Unity. So let's get started. So here I have a character, a very interesting cartoon character. She carries a sword, a gun, and she has a cape and a dress. Okay, and we're going to swap these items in and out. I'll show you in a moment how it's done. So this is a standard creature mesh region, and so here is the character. You notice that here, okay, so here's the bone structure. As you can see, there's a bunch of bones signifying the cape, the bone rig for the cape, so we can do some bend physics on it, and also long chains of bones for the dress as well. And then there's also bones for the arms. Now, if you're not familiar with creature rigging, please watch the previous tutorials on skin weighting, bone weighting, and all that for the creature editor. But this emphasis is going to be on skin swapping. So if I go back to region mode, you're going to notice that I have all these regions over here, and they are all overlaid on top of each other. So the first thing you do is actually put the regions in place, just like how you would for a regular character. Don't worry about which regions are covering which other regions. You can invis them if you need to actually place the regions properly by hiding the overlapping regions. Okay, but once you've done that, what you do to activate skin swapping, to test it out, is to click on rig, and then you're going to have a skin swapping setup. So click on that, and this is going to show you, this window over here, this floating window over here, is going to show you the available skin swap items for your character. Okay, and it starts out with default. And the way you do it, let's start a brand new skin swap to show you how it's done. So I'm going to click on new skin swap, and let me just call this test. Okay, so right now there's nothing in the skin swap item. So if I activate it by clicking active, it's going to be blank, right? Because there's nothing in it. So what I do is I can then select, I can group select groups of the character, like so. Let's say I just want these regions, and then if I click add region, there you go. Oh, I've forgotten part of the hair, right? So I should have the upper hair. Let me add that too. Okay, there you go. So now I have a character, and I can remove the cape too if I don't want a cape. Okay, so now I have a character that wears a dress, right? So this is a skin swap, a skin of the character with a dress and sword. And as you can see, I've created a whole bunch of other skin swaps as well. There's one with the cape, so with the gun. There's one default with which is just a character standing without anything. And I also have a skin swap with, say, the default gun, so the character with a gun, right? So these are the different skin swaps, and the way you do it is you just go in, as I said, you can actually duplicate the current skin swap, you can rename it, you can of course delete it, and you can create a new one. It's very simple, and then you just select regions from the regions window, or you can just highlight and select, and then you add them to the skin swap item you want. And that's all it is. Very simple. So this is the setup in the rigging mode, and we're going to go into the animation mode to actually see how it runs. Okay, so I close this. Let's go to animate mode. Alright, oh sorry, animate mode over here. Okay, so let's actually load up one of the animations I've created. It's a pretty fancy animation. Well, not really. The character is just, let's see what she does. Okay, right. So she's just standing and then trying to shoot a gun, and then going back, and you can see all these bones are getting animated with different procedural motors of creature. They're done with the physics and rotate cycle motors, and there's actually a wind system blowing on the dress and the invisible cape, which doesn't exist right now, and the hair is getting affected. Okay, so this is not very interesting, or rather you know how this is done already. What's interesting is how do we activate these skin swaps. So click on animate, move your mouse over to skin swapping, and again the same window appears. This time you cannot edit any skin swapping items, but you can actually switch between them. So I have, let's play the animation again. So I have the default gun. Actually, let me turn off the bones so it's clearer. So I have the default gun skin swap activated over here, I can actually switch to the cape to give her the cape, right? So I made a skin swap with the cape, and so now I can see the cape blowing with the wind, and I can switch over to say dress. So this is her with the dress, and I can have the dress with the sword, right? So there you go. And you can actually preview your skin swaps really easily, again, by clicking on active. If you deactivate it, you'll see the whole overlaying region meshes again. So by clicking activate, you activate the skin swapping. You can actually see it in action live, right? So here are the different skin swaps that were created with the creature editor in rig mode, and I can swap between them very, very, very easily, right? So that's basically skin swapping. It's very, very simple. And as you can see, it's a very efficient way of managing different costume item swappings, and best of all, this system allows you to actually very easily swap between different kinds of meshes, different shapes that deform differently and react to different rigs and procedural motors. So it's extremely, extremely flexible, right? Okay, so once you are done with this, once you are done with the skin swapping, if you're very happy with your results, you just export out the game assets using the export, using either normal export or the advanced export, depending on which type of export you're going for. If you want to optimize the resolution, go for advanced export. If you don't care or just want to do a quick test, do normal export. And in the next tutorial, I'm going to go through with you how to activate skin swapping in the game engines like UE4 and Unity. But essentially, the skin swapping data is going to be exported into the creature meta JSON format, and you're going to import that as an asset into the corresponding game engine. So see you for the next tutorial, and thanks for watching.